A very good afternoon and welcome to yet another edition of the YES101's Visual Radio. For the Newsfirst team, I'm Jadabdeen. We start off with a look at your headlines.
Newsfirst headline.
In headlines, new batch of passports arrive in Sri Lanka. CSL reviews CID report on Grade 5 exam paper leak. Finance Ministry reports improvements in fiscal performance for 2024. In news overseas, not Mike King, Australian senator shouts at Charles. And in sports, Bangladesh up to bat debuts for Jakar Ali and Brett Case. And now to your news in detail. Starting off in local news, Minister Vijitha Herath announced that the newly ordered batch of passports has arrived in Sri Lanka. The minister stated that the current queues for obtaining passports are expected to end within this week. Minister Herath made this announcement while addressing a public rally held in Katunayake yesterday. And on to more local news, the Human Rights Commission has announced that it will swiftly submit its recommendations regarding the controversial first question paper of the Grade 5 scholarship examination. Commissioner Nimal Punchiheva stated that the Commission has received the report from the Criminal Investigation Department concerning the leakage of several questions from the exam paper. After reviewing the report, the Commission will forward its recommendations to the Department of Examinations. Meanwhile, Commissioner General of Examinations Amit Jas Sundara has indicated that the evaluation of answer scripts for the Grade 5 scholarship examination will be postponed until the Human Rights Commission's recommendations are received. All preparations for the evaluation of answer scripts have been completed, he added. The CID initiated an investigation into the leakage of several questions from the first question paper of the Grade 5 scholarship examination. Following this, the Department of Examinations confirmed that 3 questions had been leaked and decided to award free marks for those questions. In a related development, a fundamental rights petition was filed in the Supreme Court by 54 individuals, including students who sat for the scholarship exam and their parents, seeking an interim injunction to prevent the release of the exam results. The petition also calls for the annulment of the first question paper and the conduct of a re-examination. And now, still in local news, Sri Lanka's Finance Ministry has reported notable improvements in its fiscal performance for 2024. This progress is particularly relevant in the context of the ongoing International Monetary Fund Extended Fund Facility Program, which aims to support the country's economic recovery and structural reforms. The government has projected a budget deficit of 2,851 billion rupees for the fiscal year 2024, which includes 450 billion rupees allocation for bank recapitalization. This was revealed in the pre-election budgetary position report 2024 issued by the Finance Ministry. In the first 8 months of 2024, the budget deficit was recorded at 911 billion rupees, marking a significant reduction from the 1,470.7 billion rupees deficit recorded during the same period in 2023. The primary balance also showed notable improvement, reaching 648.8 billion rupees in the first 8 months of 2024 compared to 55 billion rupees in the same period of 2023. Now, in the first 6 months of 2024, the primary balance was 3.7% of GDP, indicating that government finances are on track to achieve the primary balance target of 1.0% set under the second review of the IMF EFF program. To finance the estimated budget deficit, the government planned to borrow 2,851 billion rupees on a net basis, with 726 billion rupees from foreign sources and 2,125 billion rupees from domestic sources. And up next is international news.
International news.
And now moving on to news overseas, King Charles faced shouts of quote-unquote, "You are not my king" from an independent senator just after he finished an address at Australia's Parliament House on the second official day of his engagements in the country. Lydia Thorpe interrupted the ceremony in the capital city of Canberra by shouting for about a minute before she was escorted away by security. The king had just walked away from a lectern to rejoin Queen Camilla sitting on the stage when Thorpe started shouting as she walked forwards from the back of the assembly. After making claims of genocide against their people, she could be heard yelling, "This is not your land, you are not my king." The ceremony was then concluded without any reference to the incident, and the royal couple proceeded to meet the public who had waited outside the building to greet them. And up next is your update on sports.
Sports news.
In sports, it's cricket. Bangladesh captain Najmul Hossain Shanto decided to bat against South Africa in the first test in Dhaka today. For the host, batter Jakar Ali will be making his test debut, replacing Shakib Al Hassan. The all-rounder was unable to make it to Dhaka while travelling from New York early this week and had to make himself unavailable in what was supposed to be his farewell test. And with that, we wrap up this edition of the YES101's Visual Radio. For the Newsfirst team, I've been Joad Abdin this afternoon. Have a nice day.